Yes, hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Cluiche with me, Seamus, Brady, your host. In this video, it's just myself and whoever is listening to me. I'm just going to give my brief, immediate reaction to the Watty Glen versus Scotstown Ulster Final because it was a cracking game, played in awful conditions. The two sides mustered up a really thoroughly enjoyable contest, and it was Watty Glen who came out on the right side of the result. Watty Glen have now made it back-to-back Ulster football titles after beating Scotstown on a scoreline of 13 points to 11. They came from 3 points down to defeat Scotstown in a thrilling contest in terrible conditions in Armagh, but that didn't stop the two sides from putting on a thoroughly enjoyable contest. Players like Conor Glass were huge. Danny Talon was huge as well for Glen. But the man of the match, Ewan Mulholland, was fantastic, kicking 3 points from play. And now they face Kilmacud Crokes in the All-Ireland semi-final, who, of course, they have unfinished business with, especially after last year's All-Ireland club final. So they will definitely have revenge on their minds when that game comes up, no doubt about it. In this game, Scotstown gave as good as they got as well, but it was just Glen who just had the knack to get over the line. Massive congratulations to them. Now, I'm going to run through the entire game. I'm just going to run through the key moments and recap it all for you really quickly here. So, as I said, Glen came from 3 points down, but to start the game off, Scotstown began this contest with Darren Hughes moving into the full forward line. He was the epicenter of their attacks. They went 2 points to nil ahead with scores from James Hamill and Shane Carey. Glen responded and brought it back to 2 each with points from Danny Talon and Conor Glass. Scotstown clearly were targeting the kickouts of Conlon and Bradley, and they took advantage of this to move 2 points ahead again, 4 points to 2 this time. Darren Hughes and James Hamill added further scores for Scotstown as Glen just were fighting themselves back into the contest with scores from Conor Glass, Ewan Mulholland and Danny Talon. Kieran Hughes hit a trademark beauty, though, right on the end of the first half to send Scotstown in at the break 7 points to 5 clear. In the second half, Jack McCarran pushed the gap up to 3 after being set up by Conor McCarthy. That made it 8 points to 5. And from here, Glen roared back into the contest and they showed just how good they are. They really, really roared back into it. So, the scores came. Ewan Mulholland, Ryan Duggan and Danny Talon all kicked points to level the contest. Then Ethan Doherty, Young Footballer of the Year 2023, by the way, put Glen in front. However, with 10 minutes left, Rory Beggan put Scotstown back in front with an outstanding point, moving up from playing in goal. Conor Glass came up trumps then for Glen, setting Tiernan Flanagan up for a point, landing one himself. And then Kieran McFall and Jody McDermott added points to seal the victory for Glen in a truly brilliant, entertaining Ulster Club football final. And as I said, Glen versus Kilmacud Crokes now in the All-Ireland semi-final. Like, when you're talking about a rivalry, there's nothing that kicks off a rivalry like a sense of injustice or a sense of being annoyed about how one game finished. And when you look at how that last year's final finished, with the substitutes going off, the substitutes not going off after the substitutes were made, and Crokes having more than 15 players on the field at the full-time whistle. That is fuel to the fire for Watty Glen. I have no doubt that Malachy O'Rourke is using that. Even if he wants to come out in all the interviews and say, we're not talking about last year, this is this year's game, etc., you are still going to talk to about the players and you're going to use that to motivate them. And Glen have Kieran McFall back in the side. They did not have him last year, and he's a massive player for this Glen team. As I said, he hit one of the insurance points in this game. He's a brilliant player, not just for Glen, but for Derry as well. So having him back is huge. Are Kilmacud Crokes better than they were last year? There's 5 lads who were in the Kilmacud Crokes team last year who are not in the panel this year. Key players that, like last year, the likes of Killian O'Shea, aren't around this time. So you have to ask, are they? Like Ben Shovel and people like that, especially around the midfield, because Glen are so strong around the midfield. They have Conor Glass, Emmett Bradley, Kieran McFall. Like, they need all of their best lieutenants, and that's why Craig Diaz coming back into the team is so important at the time that he's coming back in. Look, I'm not going to run too much with it because it's a full preview coming here on Cluiche, and make sure you check that out. But this was my immediate reaction to the contest. This was my immediate reaction to the game. Like now when you're talking about it, Glen coming up against Kilmacud Crokes, the rivalry that's there because of what happened in last year's All-Ireland Club Championship final, you already know that's going to be an absolutely insane contest between those two teams. Glen have proven that they're the best side in Ulster going back-to-back. Crokes have now 3 Leinster titles in a row, so it's no doubt that they have their provinces locked down. Now they're in the semi-final against each other. Is going to be one hell of a contest, and there's no more motivation that Glen would need to try and beat Crokes than what happened in last year's All-Ireland Club Championship final. But Kilmacud, I think they were the better team on that day, so they're going to use that as let's go and make it back-to-back All-Ireland Club Championships, which is something that would be an unbelievable achievement. It's a massive game. Who do you think is going to win? Put it in the comments below. Let me know. Anyway, that has been my immediate reaction to Glen retaining their Ulster title against Scotstown. Massive congratulations to them. That is one hell of an achievement. Until the next bit of content here on Cluiche, guys, take care.